ever think of that. The internet is a multi-edged blade, okay? First, you get anything you want out there, so it's a fantastic resource for information and exposure to new ideas. Two, you're completely tracked. Every single thing you do, say, and write is recorded somewhere. It is the greatest techno-surveillance tool that they have, whoever they are. Because there's so much amazing evil online, you can go on and find anything you want. You can see anything. You can expose yourself to anything. You no longer have to join these elite exclusive men's clubs. You no longer have to belong to some brotherhood or fraternity to engage in this kind of evil exposure. You can do it from the comfort of your own home and gain that mental exercise, that power, that reasoning that comes with exposure to the true horrors of this material world. And that's what I think has bitten the old guard in the butt, is that they didn't realize how quick people would educate themselves and become aware of how things really are so quickly. So the battle is not even between Jesus and Satan, it is between you and Lucifer itself, if you have to look at it in those terms. But you don't, really. Because it's just concepts, it's just ideas. They impose on our civil liberties. They abuse power and authority. They abuse trust. The knowledge of this Luciferian supremacy in this material dimension must be very widespread in order to account for the magnitude of evil and corruption that we see in our world today. These are just the ideas that make the most sense. What you've been taught and what you may think you know, you may have to actually go 180 degrees from that to find the real truth. Keep that in mind. It's a trick of deceivers to completely flip things around, to distract, to sidetrack. Now, the drama between Jesus and Satan, that's all just puppeteer work by Lucifer. You see? Distraction. What you got to do is rise above that duality and come to awareness that the true battle of Armageddon is going to be between your individual awareness and duality as personified by Lucifer. But in reality, it's simply the singularity of your all-positive awareness coming to awareness of duality and being able to maintain that awareness of true self as an eternal all-positive and not this body. Basically, there are two ways to look at the world. As an independent point of view, you can look at this world either negatively, which is what we pretty much predominantly have right now, or you can look at this world from the positive side. What we have to do is regain an appreciation for all life, an appreciation for all humanity, and this world would be such a wonderful place if we did just one thing, and that is stop putting effort into making it such a bad place. Okay? Why are we doing this? At the most simple level, the reason is because we live in a time where we are controlled by satanic drug dealers. Period. That's it. Satanic drug dealers. Namely, drug dealers who will do whatever they can to sell as much of their product as they can. Now, what's the number one thing that drives people to use drugs? I would imagine that it's using drugs to escape an unpleasant and harsh reality, right? So, how do you increase the desire for the drugs? You simply create a harsh and unpleasant reality. Create wars and generate more profits off the arms sales, but primarily it's all about the drugs. Dig? The wars and the arms, that's just part of the machinery, but that's secondary to the primary, and that is the drugs. So, like I say, if we would just stop putting effort into making this a bad world, we could have peace on earth. We could have a paradise on earth. We could have a world where everybody gets along and there is no hunger. We could have a world where we share our technology and use it for the benefit of mankind and not as a weapon against mankind. The corporation is the most popular tool of Antichrist system participants. The soulless corporate non-entity. What is a corporation anyway? It's just a collection of ideals set loose on the public, and you get some ill intent and you get that set into motion by a soulless corporation whose number one purpose is simply to squeeze money out of the population. But I'm not saying all corporations are evil or bad, because again, it all depends on the intent behind the machinery. What it is you set up and let loose in the world. Kind of like America used to be when we were a constitutional republic based on ideals.